All right. Good evening. The Des Moines Citizens Advisory Board meeting for today, February 25th, is called to order. And let's see, shall we take roll or just go around?
Tara Vaughn, City Staff Liaison.
AJ Johnson, Assistant City Manager. Colleen Vance, Zena.
Will you guys make sure to hit those mics?
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. Allison Chapin, North Central.
Lisa Franz, Redondo.
Corrine Anderson Ketchmark, Human Services.
At large.
At large.
Victoria Andrews, at large.
Diane Hoyer, at large.
Eddie Richards, at large.
Bill Linscott of Marina Tenants.
Mackenzie Myers, business.
Charlene Picasso, Business.
Jeff Cromp, at large.
Eddie Duggar, Central.
Eileen Evans, at large.
Gene Arthur, Deputy Mayor.
Robin Desmoni, Council Member.
Harry Steinmetz, Council Member and Chair. All right, I heard from two people that they would not be here, Susan White and I'm forgetting. Mary Ellen. Who? Mary Ellen Laird. Right, thank you. And so they both had a good reason. Do we have a motion to excuse?
They're on vacation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, is there a
So
second?
moved.
All right, their excuse. They're all in favor? And we're off to a rolling start then. Item 1 on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Everybody had a chance to read them? Yep. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from last month.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Is anybody opposed? Passes unanimously. The second item on the agenda and our star for the evening is the Assistant City Manager, AJ Johnson Newton, who will tell us all about the city-sponsored events that are coming up in the next year.
Hello, everybody. My name is AJ Johnson Newton. If I haven't met you before, I am the Assistant City Manager. I have just a little quick background about me. I've been at the city since 2018. Redundant for you, I know. Originally, I was hired as the HR Director, and then I moved into the Assistant City Manager role in 2023. And part of my responsibilities of management of departments is HR, information technology, and community enrichment services, which is why I'm here tonight, because we want to talk to you guys about some changes that we are doing with our city-sponsored events. So, and hold your applause until after the presentation. Okay. So, as I mentioned, so tonight's presentation is specifically focused on city-sponsored events, and one of the things I want to highlight when we're talking about city-sponsored events is that we are referring to signature events versus community events. And that is language that we just developed so we could be intentional so people understand what we mean. And the difference in what we're talking about tonight is signature events, which really is designed for you guys, our residents, and to try to draw visitors into Des Moines, right? So think about like the egg extravaganza or when we used to do the trunk or treat. That's really designed for our residents. But the 4th of July, with the drones and just the lack of other cities putting on those presentations, that we hope not only satisfies the needs of our residents, but actually has people coming into Des Moines. So signature big scale events, okay? And so as we go through the presentation, I'm going to walk through, how I got here to talk to you guys. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what's been going on in community enrichment services, just for some people who may not have heard my presentation in October. And then we'll be specifically talking about the 4th of July and the holiday tree lighting. And then this is an interactive discussion or presentation because there are some places where I do want to get some feedback from you guys. Before I get started, Courtney over there, wave your hand, Courtney. Courtney Will is our Community Enrichment Program Supervisor, and she is the one that actually does the bulk of the planning for events. So while I'm doing the presentation, I don't actually do the hard work. So I did want to acknowledge her. So she'll be here taking notes as we start to refine the scope of our events. Okay. Do my homework here. Next slide here. So a little bit about what's been happening in community enrichment services. So if you guys remember, if you've been in the city for a while, the departments used to be, it was actually called Parks and Recreation, Senior Services, Events and Facility Rentals. Very long title. And even though that was historically one area, the services as events and facility rentals moved down to the marina. So there was a split in terms of where they were located. And when that happened, I want to say that the departments were still functioning as one unified department, but the services were running parallel, right? So the senior services portion just really focused on our seniors. Parks and Rec was for families and the younger generation, and then events and facility rentals obviously did their own thing. So the other piece that happened, so that was historically, then COVID hit. And then just before COVID, if you guys also recall, Parks and Rec, a big chunk of our operations used to be for school-based childcare. So we used to provide that. And once we stopped doing that, we had a major revenue shift. So the YMCA went into the schools. We stopped really doing childcare stuff. We still obviously have our summer camps. We still do after school, but we're not doing where we used to be located on site. So that really did impact our structure. And then COVID hit, and specifically this department was not allowed to, we couldn't host events, obviously we couldn't put on programming. So I would say we were pretty much shut down in this area for about 2 years, roughly. And then as that was happening, people were starting to figure out other things for their recreations. And so by the time we started gearing back up to put on programmings and activities and say, hey, we're still here, some people had just moved on, really. Next slide. Okay. And so post-COVID, we recognized that we had a changing market, a shift, and we needed to be more proactive. And so one of the things that we did is that the activity center during that period, the management of it had been subcontracted to Wesley. So we brought that back in-house, right, back under the city. And then, as I mentioned earlier, events and facility rentals was housed down at the marina. We said we're going to bring all of the programming activities back under one umbrella again. And because we wanted to have stability and make sure that really we have a lot of brain trust, and it's programming, activities, and recreation, doesn't matter who you're doing it for, right? And so then we also adopted the name Community Enrichment Services. That really describes what we do, much better than Parks and Recreation, Senior Services, Events and Facility Rentals. It's not, not really great. And the other main thing that's been probably a switch since I came on board is we're really trying to be intentional about shaping our activities with data. And so I'll talk about the community survey on the next slide, but we started surveying other municipalities. What do you do? How do you staff? How do you run your programs? Just what do you charge? Really starting to go out and just see beyond just the creation of programming and activities. There's an operational piece, right? And so we wanted to make sure that we were being responsible stewards of our resources, and that we were not only just sort of making decisions in a vacuum, that we were asking our counterparts. And then, of course, we needed to ask the residents, what do you want us to do for you? What do you like about us? And so I think it was, September last year, we did a community survey. I was pretty proud of the responses, 334, until I saw how you guys kicked butt on the other survey, so evidently I should have came here. But yes. But still not bad. 334 responses, right? Just a little bit about the demographics. The two top sort of age groups was 65 and older and 35 to 64. We did find out the languages in our community other than English was actually Spanish, Tagalog, and Russian. So we got some good demographic information on our residents. The people that responded, 30% of them included children, and then 12% reported a disability. And the people that responded the most in terms of their neighborhood was Central, Zenith and North Hill. So if you're from those neighborhoods, you know, shout yourself out here. So I will recap this, but these are just, there was lots in there, but basically 62% of people that completed the survey said that the way that they interact with CES the most was through city events. I will say, just for full disclosure, you'll notice like the program's Camp Chaos was only 8%. We believe that's partly because of the demographic of the people who responded to the survey, because I know that for us, for Camp Chaos, we are booked, we have wait lists, like we know that is a highly valued program. So just, you know, keep that in mind. But I also believe that that is true, that the bulk of the way that our residents interact with us is with city events. And about, I think it was just shy of 70% said they were satisfied overall, and that actually 83% said, hey, if I've been to your event, it's been a positive experience for me. So we were really happy to receive that feedback. So, yeah.
Are you taking questions throughout this? Or?
I can, yeah, it's informal.
The Camp Chaos, the Camp Chaos number, is that reflective of just summer camp or the after-school program?
I'd have to look at the actual question. I think we said like summer camp, after-school care. I don't think it was just specifically to Camp Chaos, but like Chaos is kind of the whole overarching name, yeah. But after school right now is not as large as it used to be. But Camp Chaos, summer camp, and our break camps are pretty popular too. Yeah, if you guys have questions during, just let me know and I'll pause. Okay, so this is just restated what I just said. So basically our takeaway from the survey was that the primary way that right now, at least for the people that responded to the survey, that our residents interact with community enrichment services is really through the events, and that they really, residents see that as a way to build community connection. So why am I here tonight? We did a presentation for council on the 5th of February, and because we had this feedback from the community survey that said, hey, basically the way we interpret it is like, we want to see more events. We want more opportunities to connect with our neighbors. We want you guys to do more in that area. And even though the timing was tight, right, because we did the survey kind of third quarter of 2025, we thought it was important that if we asked the community to give us feedback, that we try to be responsive in a more timely manner, rather than trying to take the feedback and start to make adjustments in 2027, right? So we went to the council on the 5th and said, hey, here's what we're hearing. People want more events. We have a huge event, the 4th of July, what we call our signature event, that has a high ticket price, and it requires a lot of facilitation for the staff. Do you want us to continue to focus a lot of our energy on that, or would you like us to maybe move some of those funds away, either scale that back, not do it anymore, and try to build more events that are scaled up to like what we've been referring to as a signature event?
Is the summer concert series considered a community event?
It is right now, and we don't necessarily, it's not one that we're considering a signature event at this point. And so we said, hey, council, as part of your decision making, we want to tell you why we specifically highlighted the 4th of July. So, and this is why. So the 4th of July celebration in 2025, basically the city owned all of the logistics of that. We do obviously hire like third-party vendors, but meaning we don't have partnerships in this event. So we took on all of that, and the total cost of it was $123,075. So there's a little bit of estimation in there. We think about 2,000 people attended, roughly, and so we just simple math. We took the 123,075 divided by 2,000, so it's like $61.50 per person. And basically, the question we were saying to the council is like, we think we could do more with that than, you know, expending $61 for 2,000 people. One quick thing I want to say about the way that we fund the 4th of July, and also tying that back to why we call them signature events, is that there is a thing called lodging tax. And so when you stay at a hotel, motel, I'm sure you guys have seen it, like there's all these tax. So there's a portion of it that the city can collect that's designed for tourism specifically. So it's a separate fund. It's not in our general fund. So the bulk of the way that we pay for the 4th of July is actually through this lodging tax piece. So just FYI, it's not necessarily on the general fund, meaning that the general fund, I'm sure you guys have went through all of this, but it's like our basic day-to-day banking account. But the bulk of the way we pay for this is through the lodging tax. And so one of the reasons why, again, if we're looking at moving some of this funding into other events, we have to be considering the regional piece, because that's the way that we can get at these dollars and not put the pressure on the general fund. Yeah, sorry.
AJ, so that 123,000 from the hotel tax, is that an average, or do you see it climbing? And also, I believe the attendance of the 4th of July this year was radically less than normal. So, and I attribute that to the drones, but who knows?
Yeah, so in regards to your question about the lodging tax, and if you guys really are like dying to hear more about this, I think I'm slotted on the council presentation on March 26th to talk about this specifically and do a deep dive. But the King County did reduce the amount that we can collect under the lodging tax, so at some point we are expecting a reduction in our collection of funds. Can I answer that? And I think that is probably true about attendance, because we have not in the past been able to count how many people would come. So again, 2000 is kind of anecdotal, so I certainly would not put this in like a scientific journal, but that felt about right based on the event planner's experience, right? From the larger events when we used to do fireworks to where we've ended up with the drones.
Do you think that we will benefit from FIFA? Correct me, FIFA. So don't they, obviously King County will see an increase in tourism this summer, and that should help our bottom dollar as well.
Yeah, I don't want to guesstimate because I'm not involved in any of the FIFA planning, but I do know there are some conversations that are happening on the city side about how we can capitalize about that. So maybe, right, if we're intentional about it.
Can you remind us what all is included, or what's offered with the 4th of July, other than, or what has been the past couple of years, other than the drone show?
So drone show, food trucks, we had a alcohol vendor, yes, bands, entertainment, yeah. Magician.
I did want to just touch on the FIFA for a hot second. Catherine and I went to a Seattle Sports Commission convention seminar on Tuesday, and we did learn a lot about FIFA. And back in almost a year ago, the city applied to get viewing rights for FIFA to be able to view the games, and I do believe we were selected. So we will be showing the games here in Des Moines. Other cities will be doing that as well. SeaTac, I believe Renton, Tukwila. But we will be a public viewing space for FIFA games. So more to come on that information, but it will be hundreds of thousands of people coming to the area. And they come for a fair amount of time. They want to bounce around and see what's going on. And so Des Moines will try to do as much as we can to attract the travelers, and then we can try to collect as much of their travel money as we can when they roll through here. But FIFA is being addressed, and it is going to be something that we will be able to participate in.
And we're hoping they all stay at the 4 Points in the Marina.
What else is considered a signature event as far as the city's concerned?
Right now, it's the 4th of July. What we're looking at, and as we go through, you'll see this, what we talked about with the council is looking at the holiday tree lighting. That seemed like the next logical event to approach is trying to scale up. So. Would the parade be on That's not necessarily city-led, right? So we're a partner in that, maybe later, but at least for this year, I should say, that because of the timing, that is a real thing, that we're looking at least the two things we know we can't do, we have done, and then to try to scale from there.
You want to follow up? Yeah, go ahead. Or Bill?
Knowing the criteria for a signature event, even though it's not a city event, so it wasn't captured that way, wouldn't the Waterland weekend be considered a signature event based on who it attracts, or are you saying it really is for the locals and it doesn't attract? Because we've got Seafair Clowns, we've got a lot of things from outside coming in.
So maybe what I should say is city-sponsored signature event, right? So I don't want to speak against any other events that are going on, because you're right, we do have plenty of events where I do think that we get some regional draw. But what we're really talking about is where the city is the one that it is a city event, right? We may or may not have partners, yeah. So thank you for asking that question so I can clarify that.
Eileen?
I kind of had the same question. And if it's being named Waterland Festival and it's a festival, you know, maybe this year's a little too short, but to bring in people for a festival, that might be a good way to look as an extra city event added to, which isn't a, you know, not the parade, because that's not a city event. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Courtney, make a note.
Yeah.
And I'm curious when I asked the question about the summer concerts before, because that is a total city-sponsored event.
Right.
And I've been to some of the concerts I mentioned to this group before. One of them I went to down in Puyallup. It had 3,000 people at their last summer concert. That's quite a number. It seems like if we did some advertising and promotion for those events that we could draw from just besides our citizens, and while it probably wouldn't provide lodging, it could provide, you know, the bars and restaurants would probably benefit from some of that. So I'm wondering why we don't consider the summer concert series, because a lot of money is put into that.
So I would say two things. The language is relatively new, right? Because we needed to have a way to have a conversation with council about how we're reviewing events, and then remember the way that it's being funded. Summer concerts are not funded by lodging tax. So there is some strategic piece. So I'm not saying that that's not a good idea or a place to explore, but really just for this year, we were very much focused on the funding question, what that funding is designed to do and the way that we're using it, and it has been for the 4th of July. So potentially maybe in the future, maybe for 2027, we do look at that as a scaled up and a signature event, because it's certainly primed to do that just by the bands, which you know. Thank you. So after giving council all of this information, essentially the direction that they gave us was discontinue the drone show, but still pursue the 4th of July. So that was very clear to us. And so they wanted us to basically transition from the single high-cost event model and start to move towards multiple signature events. So that's why I'm saying there is opportunity for us probably past this year to maybe rethink what these signature events are going to be. Okay. So here's what we are operating within now. We know that it's going to be a daytime celebration, it's all ages. It's America's 250th birthday, so we are thinking like a birthday theme. No drones, and really trying to focus on music, activities, and vendors. It's on a Saturday this year, and hopefully we have good weather. So that's just really the light framework that we're operating now from the feedback that we got from the council. And so I'm going to open it up to some questions, sorry, but I just wanted to. So one thing that I want to say is, like, this is the framework that we believe we got from the council. So it is a daytime event, just thinking about that before I start asking you guys some questions, and that we're trying to refine this so it actually meets. You guys are the ones attending it, so we'd like to get your input and also some ideas about how we can get it scaled up, because we know there's going to be other cities that are also hosting events. So what can we do to get people into Des Moines?
Allison has a question if you're.
So actually I have two things, and I recently started a kind of North Central Facebook group to start asking people in the community or my immediate community you know, their opinion on what we should be doing. And several years ago, we had kind of like a carnival, or there were rides, there was bouncy houses, there was a lot of stuff for kids to do right down at the waterfront, and a lot of people I've talked to have expressed that was, you know, good memories were made. We could charge admission or charge a fee for people to ride, but yeah, having those available would be, I think, a benefit, because the music and the food trucks and the alcohol, that it is family friendly, but there's not a whole lot of draw for young kids. And I remember back, you know, before even living in Des Moines, I was in Seattle, and I drove down for the 4th of July because of all the rides available for my stepson, who was like 6 at the time. So the other thing is, I know you're talking about just a daytime thing, but is the possibility of even just having a small fireworks show a possibility? No.
I would say right now our direction is daytime and no fireworks. Yeah. Could that change? Then we would pivot, but right now that's the direction we have.
Yeah, just kind of to add on to that, one of the problems with fireworks, other than the environmental and the pets and things, is that they now have to be fired off of a barge out in the water. That is a big increase in the cost.
To add on to Allison a little bit, I've been here a while, so I do recall the carnivals, and of course it was on the marina floor there where easy access. But a carnival came into town, and it lasted, I believe it was a week. It was quite a few days. It wasn't just maybe it was an extended weekend, but I feel it was quite a long time. So now you don't have access to the area it used to be at, so where is there even a field or are there traveling carnivals even out there still? Yeah. And where would the location be? It's like, I think of the baseball field at the field house area as a possibility, but there was an arcade and rides and food vendors, all kinds of activity.
Well, the good thing for you guys, and probably for me, is she is going to figure out where we're going to lay all the stuff out. Once we get a sense of generally things that are of interest. So what I'm hearing is something for children specifically, right, in addition to some of these adult more activities is wanting to be a thing.
Really child or kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Up to maybe high school. There's always the octopus, for example.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Real. But the roller coaster would have been more for the elementary age kids. So, but yeah, there was a variety of rides.
Victoria?
Ferris wheel.
I know that there is usually in the summertime a classic car show, and I don't know what the Marina Steps staging area kind of, you know, cutting off a lot of that. Is there a way that could be incorporated into the birthday party idea?
We are going to add that to the list, Victoria. And thank you. And I wasn't trying to be flippant about the layout, but we know that we have construction going on down there and all of these things, which is why I was trying to preface that we certainly want all of the input, and knowing that we also are going to have to make some operational decisions, right, and then based on capacity. So if your idea doesn't show up, it wasn't that we didn't care.
But the car parade could be
Right.
through town.
Right.
Diane?
I was thinking of what specific program or features would make this event worth attending. And I came across an idea of maybe, it might work, may not, of reenactments, because you want to tie it to history and make it unique. A lot of folks who are into history do these reenactments all over the country. I don't know if they would do it here, and the scouts could get involved, they could take part. Just an idea tied into the history of our country, as opposed to just having things on. So you tie it more. I don't know if that would be attractive to our residents and our members, but it might be very attractive to outsiders to make it a unique event. You know, not all day maybe, but just, you know, that would be your thing, but just an idea. I know I certainly would like that, but.
Kenzie?
I like all of the ideas, especially bringing back the car show. I don't think we had that last year. But I know restraints with everything. The other thing I was thinking on Saturdays, we do have the park run that is there all of the time still. I don't know how early we were going to plan on doing things, but I think that would be a fun way to tap into to kind of get things kicked off for the 4th of July. And maybe we do kind of like those fun color runs, because I know the kids especially love getting like colored all over them. And we could do like a red, white, and blue one, right? And then that kind of kicks off the fun, and then the live music and food trucks, and then everyone's getting festive. But that was just an idea, and it's kind of low cost.
Colleen?
Kenzie, yes, like, where they, you know, decorate the bikes. I know there's kids parades and things that some neighborhoods have, so maybe tying that in. I'm trying to think also, it's a birthday party, so like, not going too far off, you know, but the car show is great. The thing that Diane said, oh yeah, the reenactment, you got me thinking when you said the Boy Scouts. If you've ever been to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the San Juan Islands and Orcas, where you go to that one hotel and they go out on the dock and they march out and they do this really formal like flag ceremony, the Boy Scouts do, and it is so cool.
Oh, yes.
The color guard thing, yeah. So anyway, tuck that away and maybe check it out.
Eileen? No.
So, you know, I think late 60s is when the Waterland Festival began. I mean, it's been a long time. So a lot of these people that are speaking up are of my age or such and saying, you know, oh gosh, I wish the city, you know, doesn't do anything, whatever, you know, and they complain and complain and complain. But what they don't remember is the last few times that we did have this carnival, it got very unsafe. There was guns brought in. There was a whole other side. So you look at what happens at night everywhere now compared to 69 or 73, you know, 1973, it's a huge difference. And so same thing with, they had problems with the fireworks, but, you know, a few years back like that. It's really hard. And part of the thing with the fireworks is I think that they had to hire so many police that was also a high cost. And when the carnival, the carnival stopped in the Waterland days, that was the main reason, is because it started to evolve into getting scary at night, you know. And most carnivals won't close down at 9 o'clock at night because they're making all their money. And I'm not even sure back in the day how many condos were down there that are affected now that weren't affected before. So sometimes you kind of have to let these people know there's other reasons. It's not that we just don't want to do it, that, you know, there's a whole safety issue behind that, I believe.
One question, just this thinking about, is that knowing that we're going to do a daytime event, did you guys have any feelings about, like, should it be a concentrated program where you're like in and out? Do you want to have kind of a rolling 4 to 5 hour window? What feels like might be a good sweet spot? Knowing that, assuming that if you do a daytime event, that the idea is that people are probably going to return home, right, to finish up their 4th of July celebrations. So just wanted to open that up.
I'll give you my thoughts on, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I remember that too. The carnival did become dangerous.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's not lost on people. But my thought is perhaps we can create just the arcade, you know, the old throwing the dart at the balloons and the fish line and prizes on it. And I mean, you could come up with 5, 6, 10 ideas and create this makeshift arcade and have it at the field house, and that could work.
I think Eddie's had her placard up for a little bit.
And Allison's idea of the bouncy houses,
Yeah,
because
that's
that
it.
is, you know, that's easy to do and to get.
Victoria?
Birthdays have balloons. How about a water balloon fight? And it could be getting pretty competitive. You could actually have teams and they have to pay an entry fee to pummel the other team with water balloons. And that could be at the Fieldhouse location. And I like the idea of rolling events. So you could come to that in the morning, then dry off, and then come eat in the afternoon.
Diane?
I just think of the birds and the environmental issues with the balloons.
But they'll break.
Yeah, I know, but then you have them on the ground.
Then you clean up.
Okay, okay. But I was gonna say birthday cake was my, you have to have a birthday cake for this party. Cake, or a cakewalk, yes, that's the other thing. Thank you.
Mackenzie?
From my experience being down at the marina, I've noticed it kind of is pretty slow during like that mid-morning time, and it's like really only a couple hours, and then it dies back down after like 5 o'clock, and then once the drone show started, that's when everybody showed up. So it really is honestly like maybe a 4-hour event, honestly, that, in my opinion.
Eddie?
Well, my other thought was, what are you going to do with the we have the food yeah, how's that going to work out with?
So the farmer's market, yes, we'll be down there on that Saturday. So we are considering that as something that will be happening on the same day. So we'll work with them. We have some time set up to meet with them to talk about the logistics. So yeah, but the farmer's market is slotted to be down there on that Saturday, which actually I think is pretty great. It worked out well, so.
Robin?
Councilmember Desmoni, also event planner, is my experience for 30 years. Many of these ideas sound fantastic. I'm going to be that safety girl and that liability girl and that insurance policy girl. Bouncy houses are a no. Water balloons. There's many areas of injury and liability. I'll say it. And so those are fantastic, don't misunderstand. But as a city-sponsored event, I think we would need to navigate past the minimal liabilities. I also am hearing all of these ideas, which are great. We could come up with 1,000 ideas. We could. But I feel like it needs to be narrowed down to 2 or 3 things that gets everyone's attention for that small amount of time. Because everyone does have plans on 4th of July. So what you want to do is try and capture their attention for, and I agree with Mackenzie, 2 or 3 hours, and then let them be free to what they do. I also would like to default to Mackenzie. She's down there every year. She sees how it goes, and it directly affects her. I want to remind everyone at this table that it directly affects that business and the farmer's market. So, and we have construction. We have a lot of things. So if we could narrow it down to maybe 3 or 4 things that we think can get the gamut of people we're trying to reach. Bike parade is solid math. I've seen that several times. But Normandy Park does that. It's from 10 to noon. So if we can find a few things, like 2 or 3 things that we think are solid math, that we're not hitting people with water balloons or breaking bones in bouncy houses, and then focus that within that time frame we were discussing, 2, 3, 4 hours, what have you. I think that would be the draw. We're going to go do the really cool thing, and then we're going to go barbecue with our family, whatever the other things are.
Can I just piggyback one thought real quick? And then, sorry, apologize. Now that I understand why you guys are flipping your cards up, no one told me the etiquette. Took me, yeah. Weird. I'm slow, but I get there. So I apologize. I didn't. I think the other thing, you're correct, right? We need to do a few things really well. But one of the things we've been thinking about is like the drones and the fireworks, like that's the big, event draw. So if we're doing the daytime thing, what's the replacement for that? So that might also help you guys kind of spark up the ideas, right? Like what's that one thing, like normally even if we did our nighttime show, you do all the daytime and then the drone show happens and you leave on a high. Like what is that thing that we could maybe look at doing in the day, very different from what we would normally do, that people would leave on that high that they would get from the drones and the fireworks?
Bill?
So just a thought. So I understand the daytime focus and the fact that the marina's going to be a mess, but that night people are going to migrate to that waterfront, down at Redondo and down at the marina, and they're going to watch Quartermaster, and they're going to watch Ruston, and they're going to watch. So I would urge you to look at a calmer evening event, but just that it allows people to mix, mingle, and gather, and maybe it's not hot buttered rum, but the quarterdeck and Redondo will have the fishing pier there. So anyway, just something to keep in mind.
Kenzie?
I think, just going back to kind of what's already there, because it's going to be crazy, as we all know, the market and the park run, and trying to merge those exciting things, and maybe not the water balloon fight. I don't know if we can do the color run, if that's also too, like, it's not paint, but it's like this dust powder that's fun. But also then I guess in the evening that would be fun. I've only seen people, they don't really mingle unless there's like a ton of live music. So unless you have a ton of live music in that afternoon, 6 to 7 to 8, they won't come until like the last 30 minutes. So it's not worth having a food truck there for an hour, from my experience. But
Allison? Oh, okay.
I was thinking of Americana kind of things with the 250th, and what hit my mind was soapbox derbies and pie eating contests.
Mm-hmm. Diane?
Yeah, another idea. Sailboat race or something on the water. We're trying to attract people to the water, so something down there on the water, maybe. That would attract.
Allison?
Bill kind of stole my idea, but and of course now I'm drawing a blank as to what that was, but but I'm also, I know I'm the one that brought up the bouncy houses, but I also don't want to steal the thunder of the kids festival, which is just like 2 weeks later. So it feels a little bit redundant to do both of those. That's just a thought. But I know what my main point was. We all really enjoyed the waterfront, the New Year's Eve celebration, and having that whole area to mingle, bring a chair. And he's right. Like, I'm just envisioning like barbecue at home, and then walking somewhere where I can view all of the fireworks around the Puget Sound. So why not capitalize on that and have people bring their own chair and set it up down on the pier, down at the marina, and having evening food trucks. One of them could be like a cake food truck or something. But that's just another idea. Expanding it into the evening.
Colleen?
Mine's very short. The big draw, either a concert or maybe a talent show of some kind. America's Got Talent.
Charlene?
Well, talent show, that would be interesting, but I think that's a lot for this year. I just want to say, great ideas, really. The draw, people will come to the water, like Bill said, like you're suggesting, and having something going on in the water, like a sailboat regatta or something that day would be nice. But my only thought is that it's reasonable and would be fun for the kids, and it could be at 2 o'clock, would be that bike parade. And you could do it on 7th Avenue for a short period of time, and they have streamers they can get from the local businesses to decorate their bikes with, and it's a celebration then of that 250th birthday. So I think that is a real easy task for us to accomplish on that day.
Eileen? No, sorry.
So I do like how Bill worded it, like an easy, light evening. So you're not gonna get the crazies down there that you would start in trouble, because people are down there to watch the fireworks, cuddle up in their chairs. So I do like that idea, and good point that we do have a kids' festival very close to that. And me as a parent, the last thing I would do back in the day with 3 kids is come out during the day and know that I still have to come home and then take them somewhere else to see the fireworks. It's a lot, I think, for a parent. And every parent's different. Some are like, hey, let's do as much as we can. And others are like, oh, God, now the kids want to go down to that thing. And then we've got to, then because the kids still have to stay up and watch the fireworks. So that was just a side note on that.
Shirley?
Well, the kid parade doesn't have to be at 2 o'clock. It could be in the morning for that matter. I was just thinking they go to the market, then they go to the kid parade, but it could be during the market hours. But I know our neighborhood back in the day that I organized, and it was so cool. We got permits to close our street, and there was a kiddie parade, and it was first thing. It was like at 11, and then everyone, it was potluck. And every yard had something going on. I mean, we had croquet and volleyball, and my son's garage band. And it was from age 1 to 90-year-olds. I mean, it was really a great community event. And but anyway, the kiddie parade, I think, is just really easy to do.
I didn't see who was first. Okay.
Corinne? I'm just curious, after hearing all of these great ideas, great brainstorming session, this has been wonderful, and not having really been here for very many 4th of Julys, do the businesses get involved? Do they participate? Do they contribute? Are they a part of this at all?
Not in the recent years. There did used to be a partnership with the fireworks show where the city did work with some of our nonprofits, but in recent time it has been primarily led by the city. One of the things that we did talk to council about, just generally speaking, is being more intentional about going out and building some of these sponsorships and partnerships, especially specifically for an event like this, which I think, if you're open, would be attractive, especially too if the city is really trying to think about bringing people also in the city aside from our residents.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too. You really want people to come in, you need to get your businesses involved.
Robin?
Corinne read my mind. I was literally going to say at the last council meeting, I reminded everyone that what happens at the marina stays at the marina, respectfully, and that's okay. But during 4th of July, it is dead on Main Street, quiet, crickets, nothing. So to be intentional with this event, you need to commit to the one area and the one area only. I think that it's not feasible to expect people to bounce around, especially come up to Main Street. If we're going to have a parade on 7th, we're going to have activities at the marina. It's not something that's going to be a lasting, momentous. Have it in one spot, have it be amazing, and understand that this is just not the moment for the businesses. Waterland Parade, yes, it goes past our businesses, but this is not something where brick and mortar businesses are going to be able to participate or benefit from. And that's okay this time. But bring people into the city, give them a reason to come in, and then when they come back, is when the businesses, that's when we'll get them. But I don't think our energy should be towards that either. And again, I want to default to Mackenzie's expertise. She's down on the floor. I'm not down there, but it should be focused down there. It should be focused for a few hours and have a few key activities. You could do the bike parade down on the marina floor, right? Get all the attention down there to the waterfront for that event, and I'm going to take the day off probably. because it really is not a draw to the downtown core. Unfortunately, it's not. So let's just own that and bring it down to the marina floor.
Victoria?
I know that I just saw something where a community got into the Guinness Book of World Records by having the world's largest pizza party or something like that. Well, we couldn't do the Guinness Book of World Records, but we could do like a smaller version of it, like the Des Moines' largest watermelon eating contest, and that, stretched out over, as many watermelons as we could possibly muster, on tables, and just to have something silly and fun. I'm into silly and fun because we need it.
Diane?
Before Robin spoke, I wrote down some ideas, so please take this for what it's worth. But if we do partner with businesses, we could get a lot of maybe freebies. We could have like beach balls with their names on it, or we can get flags for the kids, like there's a little concession booth. We go up and just to get them into the mood for the festivity. And because I have been at 4th of July parties in other cities, and they have done that. And it just gives another vibe to the whole atmosphere just goes up. So just wanted to, but I hear your point.
Corinne?
To go off of what Robin has said, and I take that because I truly believe that good planning happens in the short term and the long term. And it sounds like we're into some short-term planning right now, and it's going to limit what can actually happen. And then there needs to be a very vigorous long-term planning so that a lot of these ideas are included, as well as the businesses. But right now, the short-term planning seems to be, it's on Mackenzie.
No, it's on Courtney.
I did not say that. I did
Park
not
run,
say
because
that.
people come from all over for the park runs, from all over, especially if you really vibe it up and add like an energy to it and the color to it. And then afterwards you get to go to the market and you get to be by the marina and other activities if we wanted to add that, but that's a short-term, fun, simple. We don't have a lot of space down there this year, so we can't overdo it.
So, in listening to everyone, it seems like this year, between the middle of June and toward the end of July, is going to be really jam-packed. If we're doing FIFA, 4th of July, Waterland, and then a kids parade, that's a lot to jam into a 5 or 6 week period. And it seems like we really need to concentrate on 1 or 2 of those events, because we're not going to draw thousands of people to 4 type of events. I mean, the FIFA games are on different days all the time, and we won't get a lot of people at FIFA games at 2 in the afternoon. But it just seems like we're looking at, all great ideas, but there's just a lot going on in that short period of time.
Yeah, and there always is, I would say. There usually is a lot happening in July. And normally, don't forget, we do normally do a 4th of July event. So I wouldn't say that this is more than what we have done in the past. It's just that we are like doing a new event on the same day. And so that's why I also framed like, hey, we are asking for these questions, but I do want you guys to keep in mind, right, we have some real constraints. So I do appreciate, like, there's been a lot of great ideas, and I think there are maybe some things that we can take back and incorporate this year, or like you said, Corinne, or we look, if we can't do it this year and this really is a success, if we take a look and say, what can we do better next time, because we'll have more runway, we can start to incorporate these other ideas. So you're right, it is going to be busy, but that has always sort of been our world anyways. And the responsibility of the city also varies depending on the event, right? So we're prepared to know that the 4th is like our thing. So thank you though for acknowledging that.
Yes, thank you. Well, I think that with the 4th of July, there's fireworks going off everywhere. And so, there's kind of a set format. So I'm thinking that we probably need something a little more unique. And one of the things they do, and actually it's about the same time of year, although it's at Toronto, they have a light contest. And it's basically every one of the groups and stuff comes out, they have an island that they do this on. And it's like, it's, for lack of anything else, it's Christmas lights, though, in the summer. So you can enjoy them. You're not freezing your rear end off, out doing these things. But they have this huge event. They have all these groups, excuse me. It's like a competition. And God knows we've already got the lights, and we've got people that are talking about getting lights for downtown next, December and stuff. Maybe roll them out a little bit early, but have a summer night light festival. I think you would attract maybe some of the people that don't like fireworks. But you're on the water. You'd have quartermaster going off, but it's not like it's right on top of you for people that really don't like. They like looking at fireworks. They don't ever deal with the additional issues. But it would be definitely unique. There's nobody in the area. Toronto does this every year. It is fantastic. What's that?
I wouldn't.
They don't do it on the 4th of July. It's like the following week. Well, they celebrate the 1st of July. So,
Victoria?
How about combining Bill's idea with your idea and doing, in Chicago they do this amazing Venetian night, and the boats are all decorated to the nines, and I mean, it's themed to the max. I wore horns and yellow braids, and it was awesome. We did not win, our boat did not win. But how about doing the light festival on the boats and having the parade down there, kind of like the Christmas ships, but having that as something people can come down to the marina to see?
And Charlene?
I think that's a great idea. And my question on your light festival, neighborhoods could do it as well, right? Are you thinking neighborhoods, downtown, but individually, not as a city putting up all the lights, but anyone who takes an interest in being part of it?
Well, the
not.
idea is you want to attract people to a particular area.
Yeah, the boat parade lit up instead of the extreme weather that creates a problem in the winter. So, the boat parade, is that doable, Bill?
Bill?
I was going to make a comment. So, boaters here, the local boaters, enjoy the fireworks and the drones that were going off. And so you have those boaters that hung out right here. There is a large group of boaters that go to Quartermaster. There's nothing like it. You're captured in this bay, and it's dropping all over you, and the percussion is just so. Getting a large turnout for the boaters this year would be more difficult. We could go out and beat the drum and that, but I've heard them say already, not in Des Moines. I guess this is my year for Quartermaster.
Where was that?
Maury Island and Vashon Island. Yeah.
Mackenzie?
I really like that idea of the light show down there. But I also know Fridays, like the day before the 4th and the day after, people are always looking for something to do, especially the day after, right? So they're all like hungover, but they all want to go out and do something still. So whether if it was like the lights were going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that kind of gives them a spread of a time to even come and look at it, but enjoy their own 4th of July.
Sunday morning mimosas at the quarterdeck, really. That's
I really like where this is going with some kind of light display.
Building.
And then maybe even sponsored by the cab somehow, or, that neighborhoods get into it. So like it could be as good as West Seattle at Christmas. It's Des Moines, in the 4th of July week or whatever. Like maybe we're challenged to decorate our neighborhoods and our homes with red, white, and blue. Like the swags, but also try to do the lights. Maybe people will be into it. We could do a little survey and ask people if they would want to.
Just a little survey.
1,000 people can, no.
So I really do like a calm evening thing to happen, and lights would be great. That feels good. I was gonna say maybe bonfires, but that requires some safety stuff but just walking through the marina or the park, with lights scattered around, I think would be great. And maybe we get neighborhood to join in, on the condos to throw some lights out too, so that you feel special.
Okay.
Yeah, I got plenty, and we have another exercise to go through, so thank you. Yeah, we do. So hopefully you guys didn't use all your good ideas. Okay, so no, seriously, thank you. There was actually a lot of really, really, really good ideas. So I think between the three of us, ma'am, hopefully we got some good notes. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we had the 4th of July, and then what we're looking at is scaling up the holiday tree lighting. So this was our first time that the city actually sponsored that. And so I will say that from our perspective, the event was really successful. I know these pictures probably aren't the best pictures, but take our word for it. It was pretty successful. And so after the event, we did have like a lessons learned. So like we are prepared even for this year to address some of the things that we might have missed. So right now, again, like I said, because we know we have construction going on at the marina, I mean, there are things we need to think about in terms of the layout and all of that stuff, which we will do. And so we really want to work to scale this to a signature event because we have the marina. Why would you not want to come here, right? And so that's why we're going to put this before you guys to think about like what could we do. And one of the things that I wanted to let you guys know, we are researching the possibility of trying to secure like an artificial tree. So if you saw last year we used a real tree, but evidently found out there are artificial huge giant trees out there. So that's something that our Public Works team is looking at, which we thought would be really cool because essentially that would turn this into an annual holiday tradition for us. Okay, so questions, what thoughts, ideas?
Ditto. Bill?
A suggestion, because I've had people ask, can we get one of the Argosy boats to come back? And I tell you, I think this is the signature event for this town. And I think this year, is the construction really going to be done, you think, by the 1st of December?
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yeah, I'm not committing to the construction being done, but what I am committing is that we are planning for it and thinking about how we can still make the event, right, take advantage of that.
Yeah,
so.
We used to have Argosy down here. Sometimes for a while they were leaving with cruises. They go to Tacoma, I think, out of Reston today. But I think if the city would go talk to them about what we're planning and what we're doing down here with the marina, I think we could get them back as a showboat, and that's a pretty impressive thing.
Gene would like to share something with you.
Yes, the Argosy Christmas ship is coming back on the 16th of December. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's just for you, Bill.
How'd you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but the thing is what they do is the route in the past has been, they take off of the marina and they go down, there's always a huge bonfire at Redondo. And they turn around and come back. So it's that's kind of a transitory thing. But if we're talking about having something down at the end, the holiday lighting is always the first weekend. So, we're talking 16 days off site. So
we should do it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So would that?
We don't make a decision. Argosy does.
Well, why not do it on the 16th?
It's in the city manager's report.
Yeah.
That just last Friday.
So We wouldn't change our tree lighting date
No.
to something later, so this would be something that would happen during the Christmas time.
Eileen?
So real quick, on a artificial tree down at the marina with the wind, I don't know how you would anchor that. So, I mean, just a thought. I mean, obviously they have them and they're anchored other places, but because of the winds down there. And why do we not want to use the existing tree? What would be the reason to pull away from that?
We had some issues last year trying to get the lights around it. That would be, and I will tell you, as part of this research, we had the engineers looking into the artificial tree because exactly what you just mentioned, right? Because they would need to be thinking about wind and, you know, being near the salt water, all of that stuff. But they have at least indicated that it could be a possibility. So, but yeah, we put the engineers on it.
Yeah, we needed the firefighters to come up with the ladder truck. So,
Great job on the
Mackenzie?
tree lighting and everything. That was a beautiful event. It literally felt like a movie. It was really fun to see all the families out and about, and kids safely like running around. It was awesome. I think it would be fun to do maybe like some sort of competition. So I know in Seattle, I think they used to do, I don't know if they still do it, but like a Santa Claus competition where everyone gets to dress up, or like a elf contest or something like that would be fun. Or even like putting up like a snowflake so the kids can walk through like a snowflake lane, kind of up above through a bunch of little tents. I think those ideas would kind of add a little bit of differentness. Or why don't you bring some reindeers in? That would be really cool. That's easy. Yeah.
Bill?
Just a real quick one. In the design of that hillside, make sure there are plenty of outlets everywhere.
Did you, Colleen? Yeah.
I wanted to second your Snowflake Lane. I mean, we could do a lot with that in that whole area, or maybe like do a play on words with the sea or the marina lane or something like that.
Bill, did you have something else? Okay. Yeah. Gene?
Well, you know, actually we're getting the lights thing again, not just in the summer, but also doing it at Christmas with the holiday lighting. The other thing is we have the biggest natural light show that goes on evenings, you know, here. That's with our sunsets and everything. I mean, that's something that we could, you know, possibly do, capitalize not just on the natural advantage we have as far as lights, but also, you know, the enhancements at, say, the 4th of July and then at Christmas. I think that that then would lead to, if we have to do installations or something, that we've got them there and everything. But it, you know, we do have the advantage of both the beach park and then the marina floor of, we could do, you know, so I think some pretty fantastic light shows, and, you know, that maybe the colors would change because of what the holiday is, but, you know, we'd have an attraction to just bring people in.
Barton?
Well, I'm just thinking summer solstice.
Can we get a microphone in front of Barton? Not that we're having trouble, but.
A summer solstice event, and truly to take advantage, maybe we should rebrand us to be the land of the panoramic sunset. And a lot we could do with that. The heck with artificial lights, and I hate the idea of an artificial tree in the land of the Northwest for whatever reason, but that's just me.
Okay. All right, AJ, please continue.
All right, thank you. And I will say the competition is we did a gingerbread house competition for our holiday party here, and it got pretty intense. Ours didn't win. I was surprised. But yeah, people do like competition even around the holiday season. So thank you guys very much. Like I said, we've been taking notes. The next steps is that we'll go back, we'll have a meeting to try to figure out how we can incorporate some of your guys' feedback and start to refine the scope of the 4th of July. Just a quick reminder again, the communication that the city received from council is that daytime event, but we will be talking to the council again, so if we get different feedback, we will make sure that you guys are aware of that. And so the plan is to go back to the council on March 26th to talk about, like, here's the basic plan of what we're going to do for the 4th. I don't think we'll be fully talking about the holiday tree lighting at that part, so please don't be disappointed, but just really talking about the 4th at that time. And then if you guys are interested, I would love to come back next month with Kyle Ellers at the other side of our house on Parks and Rec to talk about some of the things that are happening over there. Since we've had a conversation about events, there's a lot happening in the programming activities in terms of for the senior center, right, for our youth. Introduce some of our we have a new staff member that we got from the YMCA. So there's some pretty cool stuff happening over there that I think you guys might be interested in, might also have an opportunity to allow us to get some of your guys' feedback into the things we're doing if you want us to come back.
Yep. Gene?
Just to keep everybody in the loop, one of the things that is happening is this year, of course, the Redondo fishing pier is coming online, and the community has requested that the opening celebration be put on the 12th of July, which is also Shark in the Park. And then also they're planning on doing a fishing derby. So there's going to be another large event in the South End going on, and this is like the 12th of, this is the week before Waterland. So it's going to be, yeah, oh, it's going to be a busy time. So just so that everybody knows what's.
I will see Jean's date, and I will raise you the World Cup finale, July 19th.
I know.
The day after the parade.
Okay, well that ends my presentation. Thank you guys for being so gracious. Oh, sorry, maybe not.
Just got one more.
I'm aware of various communities being viewing places. Where are we looking at trying to do viewing places?
The Des Moines Theater is going to team up with the city of Des Moines to show the FIFA games. The theater is almost officially open. I don't want to jinx anything. And the idea would be that we would be projecting all the games at the theater, but the one that we would participate with the city partner and actually, advertise as the USA-Australia game. That one's at noon on June 19th, which is a holiday, and is the day before. It's the day before Des Moines Pride event is on the 20th, and Father's Day is on the 21st. So it's going to be jam-packed summer. But the Des Moines Theater is volunteering to have free showings of FIFA at their facility, and that's a team up with the city. So that is in the process of being worked out.
Cool. Okay. Anyway, we've scared her off. She's running away now.
Sorry.
And item number 3 are subcommittee reports. Arts.
So I know we hear a lot about the concerts. We got them set up, as we know, earlier than usual, and it's our intention to try to promote them and advertise them. Three people have asked me. We have the Currents coming out in the next couple of days. We submitted some dates to the Currents to show, and I was informed that there was no space in the Currents to be able to advertise the concerts. So now, in fact, Alex, sitting back there, she's making us a flyer that then will hopefully get the approval from the city to be able to begin advertising the concerts. And then the Currents, the summer one that comes out, will be doing that. And then a little update on our video contest. Originally, we were looking at trying to introduce that at the end of the school year, but I think that becomes a little too convoluted because you've got seniors that'll graduate and new kids that'll be coming into the junior high. So we're planning to announce it when the school year starts. Then we'll have people submit their entries by about the middle of October. We'll weed through them, and then I've spoken to Robin, and last night I spoke to Ben, and we're going to use the theater to show all of these, and we'll have hopefully a celebrity group of judges, and by probably a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, we'll bring that to a culmination. And then we are going to work with, Shar and I have met with Catherine. The Arts Committee is going to work with the city a little bit on some of the decorations for Christmas. So there's my report.
Eileen? Yeah.
Yeah, Charlene's going to talk now about the Arts Walk because that's coming up in less than 2 months.
The International Sculpture Day, April 25th, and there is a save the date in the
current's
the current's coming out. And we'll be in the next one, which will still be before the current, or before the concert starts. But, and I'm really making progress on this map. And so, we're going to have it available probably by our March meeting. So, there you have it.
Eileen?
So I'm gonna ask for money a year in advance because I don't want you guys to spend it all, because that's what you already did there in the arts. I know, you only had it for a certain thing, but I wonder also, does the city have a grant writer? Do we have a staff member that writes grants?
Yes.
Okay, one of the thoughts I had was to have a mural made at the south side of CenturyLink on 223rd. It's a huge, blank building, and have like Jimi Hendrix on the west side, so you can kind of Jimmy, and the theater would be you would see him, and then the Spanish Castle done. And I was hoping that maybe we could get Desmond to, I have no idea what he charges. He's the gentleman that does a lot, but in the West Seattle, you'll see the utility boxes all done with Hendrix and, all kinds of people. He's so talented, extremely talented. But maybe because you're probably mostly for concerts, we can look into maybe having a grant. There's got to be some grants to get some money for something like that. And then if that's something people would like, since it was right by, it is actually the beginning of the Waterland Way also, I think. No, that starts at Marine View Drive.
That starts at Marine View Drive, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
Okay.
May I comment on that?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that building it's Chase Bank, and then it's the phone company building.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they even still had Pacific Northwest Bell on it not that long ago, honestly. But so that is like a good location, and murals we're trying to pursue murals in the town, even in other locations. But my question is, Spanish Castle makes sense to me. Absolutely, it's in our neighborhood, or was in our neighborhood. But Jimi Hendrix, I question. He's from Renton.
Yeah.
He started at the Spanish Castle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That,
He would come down from Renton. In fact, one of his songs has Spanish Castle in it, and then one of his songs talks about this car that would never make it, and that's why he was always late, because this car he drove.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
He would sit outside the back and sit and listen to all of the bands, and it's kind of helped shape him. And then at one point, someone didn't show up and brought him in, and it kind of started.
Oh, okay, cool. And I like the diversity aspect, so that's a good idea.
But there's more to that.
And Victoria?
Or did I get that wrong?
No, actually what it was is that he was not allowed to play because he was black. But the thing is that one of the groups that was playing, their amplifiers failed. He had his amplifiers with him. They had to let him play.
Okay.
Victoria?
The thing about the mural made me think of something I asked Tracy Buxton maybe 2-3 years ago. Couldn't we have the Arts Commission spend some money to hire artists to paint a mural on some fencing in front of all of our obscene empty lots? You know, just a portion of them to make something a little more attractive downtown than what they currently are.
Allison?
What's the Spanish castle?
Oh. Oh, yeah.
You're about to be educated.
There's a dance hall where, Walgreens is.
Mexico, that corner. Some pretty
Yeah.
famous people came out of their van. You would
Yeah.
remember.
There's actually a very good documentary you can
Oh, okay.
on
I
like
was
YouTube.
envisioning an actual castle.
Well, yeah, it
And
was.
it was.
It was
Really?
designed to look that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
Robin?
I'm gonna be that negative Nelly at this meeting again, I think. Murals are fantastic. Murals are great. Murals need permission to be put on private property. So you...
Yes, but there is a setback that the city owns, correct? And so the fencing would be put on the setback.
Okay. The
Details can be
building-
worked out, I'm
I was,
sure.
Oh, yeah,
But-
mine would have to be.
yeah, I was gonna, you do need permission before we do stuff, right? So, okay. It's called graffiti, if you don't, yeah, okay, yeah.
Jeff?
That similar idea I brought up, I think, to Tracy and maybe even Matt Mahoney a few years ago of all the empty storefronts that are sitting along Greenview Drive. If we could have the windows have something in it that looks more attractive than looking like a ghost town. So that same kind of thing. And then when somebody brought up when she talked about the utility wraps in other parts, the utility wraps here, originally that was under the Arts Commission, but it's such a huge expense that Catherine was kind enough to take it off of our budget. But they're supposed to be replaced every 5 years, and none of them have been replaced for a while, and there's about 40 of them, and they can cost up to about $2,000 a piece. So we could be looking at, if we were going to try and upgrade our utility wraps, we could need $40,000, $50,000 at any one given time. So that's just something to consider as well.
Bill?
We were, I think it was driving through, oh gosh, it probably Rainier Valley, and we came across this vacant lot, and they had put images in the vacant lot that were rather large images of people. They probably stood 7 feet high, and then of kids, and they were playing. Had baseballs. And these are made out of wood, stationary, basic statues, but it changed that whole open field into a playground. You know, when you went by it, you didn't even think about it. You saw some excitement out there. Yeah, and I told you we're going to go out there and find that, take some pictures and bring them to you, because I thought that it was a really clever idea, and we have some spots around town that you put 2 or 3 in them. And I think you could get the wood shop up at Wesley Homes to produce whatever you wanted.
You guys would love it.
They would.
All right. Senior Services? Mm-hmm. I mean, well. She was
So I'm glad Courtney's gone, because I've got a lot of work that I'm just gonna hand out to her here. So I was absent at the last CAB meeting, so I looked over it, and I kind of put together some info that I thought we were hitting on. And then feel free, because I know it's getting kind of late, after I go over this, feel free to, we can discuss it now, or send me an email and say, that program sounds great, but what about this, or we could, take forever. And then, of course, we're going to have the assistant city manager also at maybe the next one. And she did mention that, I think it's Kyle that is going to also attend. So I was going to set up a meeting with Courtney to come to our senior Services meeting and discuss some of these programs. Couldn't make it, so her and I are gonna meet next week with Kyle. And then, we'll sit down and go over these. We'll have a little bit more time. And then I will bring them to the meeting on the following week. And then next month I'll talk about those, and also, they'll be discussed again. So there's just kind of like three main ones, and one is intergenerational programming. And that can be like, there's a program right now called Indoor Toy, and it's like for little kids. It's Parks Department. It's at the field house, I believe. They have toys, and it can be from kids that crawl till 5 years of age, a couple days a week, couple hours. Moms get away, get to sit and let the kids run. Seniors could be involved with that, just to be engaged with another age group. Something like that. That's kind of the idea there. And then we, of course, talked about a lot of things last week, or excuse me, at the CAB meeting I missed about the schools and how there's all these different engagements. The other thing would be like a history project, senior versus senior. A senior citizen going in, or excuse me, a senior at high school, either going to the Hudson, one of the Judson's Park or something, and meeting with a senior. I mean, there's almost could be a 60-year age gap there, and doing it, maybe it would be curriculum for the history class at school, at the high school, and then they go interview. One, it makes the senior feel great that someone really cares about their time here in Des Moines, and I would want it maybe to be geared around a resident that had been here through Des Moines, and interview, because we're losing some history here with that age group, the next age group, and even our age group, because a lot of things aren't being, recorded. So that was another idea that's kind of on that. And then one event that we will probably, it might take a year or two to kind of, get it together, but I came up with the name Postscripts, like PS, Postscripts. So after, the new, something new, that the pier that came in, and then there's somebody, 30 years ago that says, yeah, I remember what they did to that, and there was a little house down there, and there was quartermaster store, and, they talk about these things, but kind of like from a senior's point of view, all of these different things, like the stories, let's hear the stories. And the event would be something like you would have a hall, or even if the theater, we could rent just that top part, where they did the pet, little thing they did a couple months ago. And just have seniors have tables where they bring their memorabilia, and that people can walk through and talk with them. It would be great to do it somewhere around the parade, so people, like if they were, they're early for the parade, they could go look at the stuff and come out. Then right down the stairs is the Historical Society, have that door open. But kind of just like, these seniors, I feel like we're losing the story if we're not tapped into that. And that's just kind of my personal thought on that. So I'll meet with her next week and get back with you guys and let you know kind of where we go with that.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very nice. Human Services.
We actually met today at the police department with Monica. Tara and Alex set it up for us to go in, and she presented what she does. And we got all kind of excited and had all sorts of questions, and Chief Bo was there. He sat in on the whole thing, kind of entertained us a little bit.
I'm sorry, who's Monica?
She is the co-responder staff person.
GPS officer.
Sorry, my bad.
No,
I'm new. Okay.
Yeah, she's well worth meeting and knowing, because she knows what's really going on right there on the ground floor. Right, she knows exactly what's going on. So anyway, we learned a lot of things from her in terms of services she provides, the kinds of experiences that she has and what she does to help folks get connected to services. And and then she provided us with some brochures, which are very helpful because we're wanting to build a resource guide. And so that was very informative, and thank you, Tara, for helping do that. Yes, and we have another one that you set up for us about food services or something that.
I know you guys want to meet with the backpack.
We do want to meet with Backpack Brigade and Orion. And then there was something else that I signed up to participate. Well, that's okay.
Was it at Highline or?
Yeah.
There's a presentation at Highline on.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I did too.
Yeah. So we're staying busy. We're staying in the and then we learned from Alex today that the Share One, Share app, is going to release the grants for the people that are up at the applications. That's right, March 6th, and so we'll hear thereafter, and that'll keep us very busy. And so we'll be going through those and making recommendations to the council about which ones we think should be funded. So anyway.
I'm sorry, applications for, I'm sorry, I'm new.
That's okay. So Human Services, we oversee the applications for funding for service providers in the community for human services, social services. And we just make our recommendations. We're advisory, and but we learn as much as we can about the different services that do exist within Des Moines and the surrounding areas. Yes. So that's it. Ben?
No placards up? Anything for the good of the order?
I have just briefly. So we wanted to let you guys know, we are proposing some code cleanup now that we've got 2 additional committees, the airport and the planning commission, as well as the restructure of the CAB. We just need to do some cleanup of the code to make sure everything is consistent. So we'll be presenting that to the council next Thursday, if you guys care to watch, but otherwise we'll provide updates about anything that might change.
Like what kind of code?
So we have a general code that applies to all appointive committees. So this is an appointive committee. It just means a committee made by the council of people who aren't council members.
Okay.
And we have quite a few appointive committees, and so we've just added 2 more. So we just need to go through and clean things up, make things consistent. So,
okay.
But yes, we'll provide an update afterwards.
Good, thank you.
Charlene?
I move that we adjourn.
I find that's out of order at the moment. We have 2 members who are leaving us for the Planning Commission. And I just want to recognize Colleen Gantz and Barton DeLacy. You are both wonderful members.
Well
You
done.
will be sorely missed.
Well done. Yeah. They're lucky to have you.
Now we can have more Zenith.
I'm
Remember there's people that are interested in Zenith, you were telling me?
Right, so the Woodmont and Zenith will open up as well.
Yep.
If you know anybody.
I've been trying, and they did mention it at their last meeting at HP.
I'll make sure something's in the, Woodmont, blast, to alert the membership that, it's not all of Woodmont, but a good portion, and you can spread the word, Harry.
Could you highlight that you're missing and we'd like to replace you also on the senior services?
Oh.
We're down to 3.
Can you do that? Can you switch? You can go over, couldn't you? If you
No,
wanted
he's
to.
not.
No, they're not
No,
allowed to be on
the Planning Commission is not allowed to be on any other
because
appointed
it's
boards.
too big. I mean, nope, they have work to do.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
Colleen?
Well, I just wanted to say, I've been wanting to be on the Planning Commission for a while. That's partly why I wasn't on another committee, and I kind of focused on the strategic plan instead. And so thanks for your grace on, my stepping away from this. And I just say, today, just sitting here, I'm really going to miss this group. And, Susan White, we had coffee last week, and she said, you know, this group is very effective, and I can't agree more. I mean, it's just, you have a lot of influence in the committee and in the community, and it's really impressive. So thanks for letting me be part of it for a while.
Synergy is amazing, isn't it?
We're gonna miss you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
well done.
Allison?
Oh, just that if the senior services is restructuring to be more intergenerational and the name is changing, I'd like to talk to you about being involved. Yeah.
Charlene, I would entertain your motion.
Well, I just, off of Allison's
Or not.
comment.
Okay.
She changed her mind, Harry.
I just want
Get
the,
comfy. I ran out of water.
Do you want some more?
I want the at-large members that haven't requested to be on a committee, that they can always join a committee. So, there you go. I do move that we adjourn.
I hear a second. Anybody opposed? Hearing none. We will adjourn. Thank you all very much.